Good evening, everybody, and welcome to StatCheck episode 173. We are live today on the 24th of February, and it is a wonderful, wonderful day. I'm Ennis. I'm joined by Nathan. We're here to talk all things Warhammer. I hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful evening. Today on the agenda, we have some new Tau data sheets. We have a new Imperial Knights model. We have some event results to talk about. Nathan,
A
I assume
lot.
we have stats for the week because we
We do.
streamlined that whole process. Fantastic.
Mhm.
I was at a tournament. It went all right. Nathan and Anthony were also both at tournaments, but have their own reasons they're not here. And we'll chat a little bit about that. We'll also do the usual shit talking banter, as we always do here on StatCheck. I hope everybody's having a lovely day. Nathan, start us off. How you been, my friend?
I'm doing great. We started back up doing D&D at the local game store, so I started doing that again this week, which was fun. And then I built a Lord Discord, which was a terrible decision. And then I built Forge Fiend, which made me feel a lot better about myself. Because the Lord Discordant was just annoying. I don't know. Why does the little Lord Discordant have pieces that are tinier than a pin that you have to put onto other pieces that doesn't even do anything? It's just ridiculous.
The Lord Discordant model is so bad that I got like halfway through painting trim and we just gave up and was like, I'm never using. I took his base off him and put it on my Forge Fiend. I was like, I'm not even like, I just like, nah. I built like a really cool base trim. I was like, this is great. I was like, no, my Forge Fiend's getting.
Yeah, it was just funny, the juxtaposition between building those two models and then being like, why did you make this model this way? It didn't have to be like this, GW. It's got so many little pieces that need to go into so many little places.
It was called like Vex Machinator, the Arch Discordant or something like that. And I'm like, if he was a special character and it was one, I'd feel so much less bad about it. The fact that you could need three is very funny.
Then I started printing out these little like guitars for my Noise Marines. So I have a bunch of little Noise Marine angry guitars for them, which is kind of fun. So
that does sound good.
Getting ready to get all that stuff painted and on the table. I'm gonna try to get to a RTT GT event with the Chaos Space Marines in like March.
Nice.
Is the plan at the moment. It's entirely based around whenever the slate comes. If the slate comes with a balance patch earlier, maybe I'll play sooner, but I don't know. Playing a little bit on TTS, kind of having a laugh at it. Keeping my hobby motivation going by as much as it tortures everybody else on the show by doing a Crusade League at the local store, because it keeps me just needing to paint regularly because it gives me in-person games every week. That's all it is, bud. I just need the constant thrum of needing to paint shit to put it on tables. I can't help it.
It's all right. I painted for the first 4 months of my Bastion Task Force list because I needed them for sergeants for my Death Watch list. So, you know, we all deal with this in our own way.
It's true.
I agree. That does sound correct.
That is what our delivery people are doing. I think that's somebody else, by the way. It's just groceries being delivered according to the people outside my window. But yeah, got to hammer the button 500 times.
No, that was definitely just twice, but sure.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, that's about all that's going on over here. Not a lot going on. Just assembling models, painting models, and assigning myself to whatever happens for Chaos Space Marines, Crusade League stuff, which probably isn't that much.
Have you had much chance to try out the new detachments? You've been liking anything?
I like Renegade Warband a lot. You just, as people have noticed, you just have to use units that don't depend on packs even slightly. I wanted Possessed to be good in it because in theory they could still be good in it, but losing dev wounds when you go into hard targets is kind of rough, but rerolling hits is
Possessed with no dev wounds just seems kind of bad, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, but the ability to reroll hits with shooting platforms that are mostly good in CSM, like CSM has a bunch of reasonable to good shooting platforms that just love reroll hits. Noise Marines, great. They love extra AP, +1 to wound. They love reroll hits into shit. That's just what they like. So, I don't know. I'm having a great time with Renegade. I don't understand what people are doing with Hurons. I guess the French list looked kind of interesting for
it. Down with the thickness, boy. I don't know what you want from it. It's just 100 wounds. It's just 150 wounds of blood surging guys.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm going to end up playing with it, is just playing the French version of that list.
Well, what defensive strat do you want? I want to be in combat with you when you're done. It's a much
that's true. You shot me with a pistol. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Anyway, my army rule is I vect 6-inch range guns, and I'm in a wall and on an objective where you can't not be within 6 of me. Thanks for that.
Yep. I mean, I'm gonna try Hurons. It just has a different list, and I'm just seeing whatever like Sako and like the Pyra French list.
Slamming just like face down on that auto advance stick button is a drug that few things can match.
Yeah.
Just be like, no, I am just gonna move, 15 inches out of this transport every time without fail, and you do have to account for that. And then, as always, whenever you play against a strat that's late, you have to assume it's everywhere because it could be anywhere, right? Like that's always how that goes.
And I do kind of want to shove Abaddon into both. Yeah, I do just want to shove Abaddon into both lists just to like in Renegade, just so I can have 4-up invulnerable saves on everything. But it seems like so many points. He's so expensive.
The fact that he can't Dark Pact to generate the CP stresses me in that build.
Yeah. I get that because that's built into his points cost, right?
Yeah, conceptually, I understand that it's fine. It's not actually that big a deal, and like he's still good, but it does just make me sad, and I'm just like, but he could be so much better. In Warband, he is quite fun. In Warband, he all advancing 6 with Abaddon is very funny.
Yeah, and I do want to put him in there just because he can auto advance 6, because auto advancing him 6 is just going to put so many people on the back foot when Abaddon is suddenly like, "Hi, have I told you about the undivided pantheon of chaos?
Have you heard the good word of our 4 lords?
Have you heard the good word of the original murder spirit in this sword?" As he like wails on you with it and murders whatever he touches.
Yeah, he kills whatever he's able. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah. But other than Catan, he can't kill Catan. He doesn't do that very efficiently.
I didn't kill every Catan I played against this weekend. I didn't even try for 2 of them.
Yeah, why don't you tell us about your much more interesting weekend, Innes?
Yeah, so I got home from London on Wednesday last week, which was great. I left London at like 12 p.m. I got my tattoo touched up in the morning, which is a brilliant decision before you spend 6 hours on the train, by the way. But it was the last day I was in London. It was the first day my RS was available. So I got the train back up with an arm, leaking, into the wrap that it was in, which was great. Loved doing that. And then I did a day and a half of work, saw my family for like 17 minutes total. And then I jumped on a train to Manchester at lunchtime and traveled down. During that time that I was home, I also had to paint 10 heavy intercessors, finish painting 12 hellblasters, paint 4 sergeants for my Fortis kill teams, and do something resembling what looks like Flamestorm aggressors, because I own 12 Storm aggressors and no Flamestorms. So I grabbed 6 Guardsman Flamers from my Brood Brothers upgrade kits that I bought back in like 8th edition, cut the hands off of them, and then wrapped them around the backpacks with loom bands painted so that they had like extendo flamers on the corners. I was like, that'll do.
They got flamers. Nobody can say any
for
different.
the heavy bolters of my heavy intercessors, because you need you get 4 in a 4, you get 4 into Indomitable kill teams, but you only get 1 per 5 in a regular unit. So I actually built this unit for my Anvil Siege Force list, of course. Normal statements made by
normal words people that go together.
Yeah. My Anvil Siege Force Ultramarines list that I almost took to LVO last year. I only needed 2 heavy bolters and 8 bolt rifles. So what I did was I went and found 2 heavy bolters in my bits kit, and I cut the like ammo pouches off them and like wrapped them around the gun with loom bands. So I was like, they have bigger ammunition that makes them heavy bolters, and it never came up because no one asked me a single time which model was which. So as far as I'm concerned, nailed it.
I mean, I've never had anybody actually ask me what model is carrying anything except for the Chosen unit, where it's like madness trying to decipher which one has which thing.
Which
sometimes.
One's which? Yeah, no, and it's awful as well, because I always go in 100% WYSIWYG, right? Like I always take a WYSIWYG army, even if it's butchered. I will do the work. No one's. I think I've like been asked like 4 times in my life, what's what, or someone will be like, what's the worst, what's that, or what's that, and I'm like, I don't actually have a way to mark that. I'm really sorry.
We'll be
like I have I had base rings for all my squads. Everything was great. So anyway, I played Manchester GT this weekend, it was a 286 player event all told, I want to say. I think it was 286, 294 starting, something like that. Something in that in that range. I took the Vesla ITT list for Deathwatch because I committed this year to going in with the strategy of I'm just going to play the thing that I think is best for the tournament, right? Like the thing that I think is the most powerful army, that's going to be based on the metagame, the terrain format, the people going, etc. But my idea this year was to stop trying to outsmart things. Stop trying to be cleverer than the metagame. Just play the thing that I know works. So I looked at Emil's results at ITT and I watched him get 5 20-0s and a 19. And I was like, maybe that's quite good on this terrain format. And maybe it's quite good in this metagame. And I just YOLO submitted it. I was like, yeah, screw it. I played 2 practice games. I got most of my rules wrong in both of them because I did not know what was going on. Until after game 2, still thought the ammunition stratagem worked on 2 kill teams. So I played it like that in both my practice games. And then I read it when I was like prepping for the event traveling down. I was like, let me just double check all my rules. I was like, oh, that doesn't work like that. I also found out midway through game 6 that my bolt rifles were lethal, which was great. Really glad to find that out in game 6. I think I had known it when I was playing against Catan, but forgot it against elves, the usual. So yeah,
what does the lethal matter there?
My first physical game with the army was round 1 of the tournament.
Yeah. I love that
and that was also the first game I played with all of the rules of my army being known to me, which was great. I really enjoyed that. So the list, for anyone who doesn't know, I will be doing a full video on this one. I have budgeted time out to record it this week, along with the Sunday preview article. That's my Sunday recording plan. I've got a bunch of time carved out on Friday to record it. So keep an eye out for 2 videos this week, one on the main channel and one on the bonus. So it is Deathwatch, Black Spear Task Force. I'm playing a Watchmaster with the Tome of Ectoclades, which is the double oath. I'm playing a Gravis Captain with Thief of Secrets, which is the punch better. That guy's great. Damage 4 is a drug. Great. And then a Judiciar with the Beacon Angelus for free short rapid ingress, and he gives his unit fight first. And then a Lone Up Lieutenant because he's 70 points. Why wouldn't you? Then I had 3 Fort skill teams, which have 2 Desolation Marines, 4 Hellblasters, and 4 Intercessors. Then I had 2 Indomitor kill teams, which are 3 Aggressors, 3 Eradicators, and 4 Heavy Intercessors. And then I had a Deathwatch Veteran squad with the 10-man, all with melee weapons, with the 4 Storm Shields, which were 4 of the 6 models with an invulnerable save in my army. And plus 4.5, 6.5, because the Judicar has an invulnerable save in combat. That came up at least once. Then we had 2 Incursors, which are the scouty ones with the point click +1 to hit, and the Metal Mine. 1 Infiltrators for 12-inch on Deep Strike. That was the only change of the list from Emil's version from ITT, as he had a squad of jump back intercessors in that spot. I can't stand his jump back intercessors outside of Blood Angels, so I just took them out and put in a squad of Infiltrators. They were fantastic all weekend. This kind of army really, really benefits from having a unit with Infiltrate, I found. And then I had 1 squad of intercessors for my home objective. I played 7 games. They were all fantastic. All of my opponents were great. I'm going to do my best to remember everyone's names. I ran one I played against Dara McGee on Chaos Knights. Dara is a really old friend of mine that I've known for going on 10 years now, which is great. Dara used to play for Team Northern Ireland. My first ever ETC in Salamanca, I rocked up and they were there wearing a cheerleader outfit, which was fantastic, fishnets and all. Massive power to Dara, one of my favorite people in Warhammer. They ran backwards with their Chaos Knights. Terrible decision. Don't do that.
Only Game run 2, forward, I played never against, backwards.
Yeah, don't go backwards. Bad juju choice. Game 2, I played against Sisters of Battle. That was Nick. That was playing kind of standard Bringers of Flame. Or was he playing Hall of Mars? I feel like he was playing Hall of Mars, and I'm lying to you all. He was playing Hall of Mars. Indirect goes crazy against Sisters models, by the way. Don't want anyone to know that. Game 3, I played against Augustia, who was at his first single tournament. He was playing Pantheon of Woe 4 Catan, which is just very funny, and also had a Wraith Brick. I managed to drop the Wraith Brick and the Nightbringer to 3 on turn 1, and then the Nightbringer walked forward and got Overwatch, dropped down to like 2, charged in, tagged some stuff, and then got shot to death, and then I just continued to clear it. That was Hidden Supplies. That was a great time. Game 4, I played against Rowan on Eldar. He was playing Aspect Host. Again, Desolation Marines are a war crime. I got to play 6 of them. They had 3 Vanguard launchers for less than a squad of Desolation Marines would have cost. Then in Game 5, I'm playing against Matt Bell, who is a friend of the channel. runs a wonderful podcast called Command Protocols. If you're interested in Necron content, he was playing Awakened Dynasty with double Catan. Highlight of this game was definitely dropping my Judicar squad 9 away from Seras. Seras going, screw it, I have Assassinate, rolling the charge into me and being like, I'll just tank the fight first. Tanking the fight first. For reference, he went down to 6 from the Judicar and the chip damage. Thunderhammers handed him 15 damage after saves, including dev wounds, while he was at 6, and he lived at 1. Matt just rolled 10-4 at us and was like, I'm at 1, and then tried to precision at the Judicar and failed with a command reroll, thankfully. So we just stood in combat with each other like, I'll get you next turn. And then I killed him in the next turn, and then the Deceiver walked over and precisioned at my Judicar, which was great. But yeah, that game went pretty well. I only actually killed one of the Catan. I killed the Void Dragon eventually. But I just was able to pin the Warrior Brick in his deployment zone. I dropped the Indomitor kill team, dropped it to 6 models in the first activation, and he had to panic spend all of the abilities to get it back to full because the indirect would have just cleaned it up if he hadn't. So then it just was a very manageable unit for the rest of the game. And then game 6, I played against Scott Morris. This was on the UKTC stream. So you can check out UKTC TV Top Cut for Manchester. He was on Guardian Battle Host. Guardian Battle Host, I don't think it's very good based on my experiences with it, which is that I tabled him on turn 3. I am open to hearing what other people think about Guardian Battle Host.
I think it's a little rough when your opponent has all of the indirect weapons that just kill everything in your army very
I think
efficiently.
Scott played a little too aggressively on turn 1. I get that he kind of has to, but that army is married to the AP stat of 1 if it doesn't have a bunch of stacking buffs. And he used both his Warwalkers really aggressively on turn 1. They both died, so he lost access to his +1 AP. And then he teleported over his mega death unit and shot one of my Force Guild teams, and I AOC'd and took 6 guys died. I'm like, that's probably not enough, and it wasn't. And then we just continued to roll through them. Guardian Battles relies on that -1 to wound and resing and stuff like that. Unfortunately, if I can drop you down to 4 guys and then indirect you 3 times, it tends to be pretty tough after that. And then in the final, I played against Chris Kinnair, who was playing Necrons. He was playing Awakened Dynasty. He had no Catan. No Catan actually made the top cut at UKTC, not Manchester this weekend. There was 8, 2 in the top cut. Neither of them had any Catan. It was a Star Shatter list with none and an Awakened list with none. Necrosaur was in both of them, by the way. Quite a good data sheet. This game was brutal. I would recommend going and watching the stream game for this one because it was a super, super interesting game. It was really tight. I think it was a 13-point finals game, which you don't get a lot of finals that are that close. It was super, super engaging. He made some really good plays. He got into me, exploited the fact that I don't have any access to fall back and shoot and stuff like that, tagged some stuff up, and then I just went into oh, I'm going to lose this game mode, and then went into okay, how do we recover from this? So it was actually a really interesting game of I got behind and then was able to dig myself back out of it, which was super cool. Because that's not a thing you get to see. We both made some very silly mistakes because it's game 7, game 4 on the day. That's going to happen. He had some odd target prioritizing choices. I forgot stratagems existed for a turn at one point, which is I don't need those. Why would I wound the Lich Guard on 2s when I can wound them on 5s and use no stratagems when I have a free strat from my Watchmaster? That's a great choice, right? But yeah, I think it was a really, really interesting game. I definitely recommend watching. So yeah, I'll go through all 5 games. I've got a bunch of pictures from all of them. I've obviously got the stream games for the semifinals and the final. We'll go through them. Congratulations to David Gaylord, who went 7-0 with his Ultramarines list. I was really hoping I'd get to play him because I think his list was crazy, and I think it would have been a great time to play against. But also, I just really like playing against 300-point units of Space Marines that die to Desolation Marines just instantly. So yeah, that was Manchester. The trophy's back there. It's a black obelisk that looks slightly different to the other black obelisk that I won at Nottingham. I can't point backwards on my camera.
What you can really look forward to in this is you creating a circle of obelisks and then summoning some demon in the middle of Scotland.
So I have 2 because I won back-to-back UKTC Super Majors, which is pretty cool. I don't know. I've done it before a long time ago, but it was back-to-back for me. I don't actually know if they were back-to-back sequentially because I won Newcastle and then Manchester back-to-back a couple years ago. But I don't think they were this. I think there was an event between them. This is the first time I've actually just done the back-to-back of the same one, which was great. I'm super proud of that one.
Nice.
Yeah. Since I got Bjorn, I have not lost a singles game except at Worlds where I didn't take Bjorn because I didn't have any space in my luggage, so I didn't bring him, and I did not win that tournament. I have not lost a singles game outside of that since getting him in Sweden. So something in the water.
I feel like a Bjorn tattoo is inevitable at this point.
I'm gonna
is
have to
really the
if
truth of it.
I win this season, I'll get a Bjorn. I'll get a goose tattoo. That seems like a reasonable
There you go. That does seem like a legitimate thing to do. I like that goal. That's a good goal. It is.
Yeah, like I've been setting like I've got I've got weight based goals at the moment, a bunch of stuff. So like the one I got at the Blood Moon was for hitting one for getting down my first 15. My next 15's another one. I've said I'm not getting a haircut till I hit 110, so that's like 2 months away at least. So we're doing what we can to set goals that are
Got to
achievable.
gamify it a little bit. Yeah,
miserable. Yeah, no, I'm basically a human Tamagotchi is how I'm learning from myself. So yeah, I mean, it's been a pretty good week. I'm back from Brian's. My lungs are doing much better than they were. So we shall see how things continue.
Nice.
So yeah, I'll have a video out on that one. I have a bunch of pictures, like I said. I'm doing Art of War this week or next week. Adam Camilleri and I will be recording to have a chat about the Death Watch. It's going to be really interesting because a lot of the Art of War stuff that every time I've done over the Art of War ones in the past, it's been like a list I'm super prepped on. Like I said, this was games 1 through 7 of the army physically. So I'm going to be very much talking about it more respectful of like, how do you take a list that you don't really know and vibe your way through winning a super major, which is going to be interesting. I'm very proud of doing it. It's not something I would recommend to most people.
No, absolutely not. We, in fact, I think generally tell people not to YOLO army.
Yeah, probably
if you can help it.
Right, let me really quickly do a couple of super chats because there's been a few come in.
Yep.
Thank you from El Patrino 5293 for the $5. Cheers for getting back to the hotel Friday night. Sincerely, Flump. You're welcome, Flump. I was not sure that was your hotel, but I was reasonably convinced you were going to be at the same one as Dave. And thank you to Xander101. It was a pleasure meeting Innes before round 5 of Mount GT. Turns out I should have asked for advice about staying calm at the stream table. I loved it, but Will under the pressure. Congrats on your win. Yeah, it was great meeting you too, Xander. I know your real name. I'm not going to say on the stream. But yeah, it was great meeting you too. Very well done on getting to 4-1. It was a great performance. And Matt's an amazing player. Like, there's absolutely no shame in losing to the guy that finished 4th. You did a great job, man. And well done on going to an event pretty stressed and doing well at it. So that's our stream chats. Let's do a little bit of stats.
Yeah. There's actually a lot of stats from this week. There were 24 events just on the BCP end of things for tracking purposes. There's one more French event that I still have to peel out, which is fine. But I wouldn't worry about that. The stats are pretty representative. But there were 24 events, and there were 1,800 players this weekend, which is a wild number of people, all things told. So we have really picked up from last week where Valentine's Day basically crushed us down to like just 3 or 4. So instead, we're up to 24. I don't think anybody's going to be surprised by how this sorts out based on win rate.
I would be very shocked if anyone was at the top besides the army that we all know is going to be at the top.
So it is Necrons at the top. 160 players out of 1761 from the weekend. So that's 9% of the meta. They had a 57.2% win rate. They won 7 out of 24 events. They had 16 top 4s and 39 top 10s for a 1.85 overrep. There were almost 0.5% more Necrons than there were Space Marines. So all I'm going to say is we have a giant problem, and that's really all I'm going to talk about for the moment. I'll grab the detachment stats so people can kind of figure out what that looks like. The detachment stats for Necrons essentially look like this. If we sum it all together, Necrons have a 59.3 across the data that's been tracked, which is 928 players or something like that at this point. Awakened Dynasty is third. Star Shatter has the most games with a 60% win rate. Pantheon is second most with a 66% win rate. Awakened is in third with a 57.2. In fourth is Cursed Legion with a 56.3. And then Cryptic Conclave is a 58.9. Canoptic has a 42.2. And then it just kind of drops down to
spiraled off into the ether, continuing to stress me out on the way down.
Yeah, Hypercrypt has a 33. That's the only one with like an actually bad win rate. Like Canoptic at a 42 is kind of questionable, but whatever, that happens for detachments.
You must be this kit Hannah to play Hypercrypt. Got it.
Correct. You must be this kit Hannah. But honestly, the biggest problem that I've got at the moment is just that same problem that we've had. They're winning almost 33% of GTs. I hope something is done soon to alleviate that. But for now, we will continue with stats that make me slightly less depressed.
Only slightly, though.
Only slightly, because I think the biggest problem that we have right now is that the problem runs about 5 or 6 factions deep at this point. Where if you just nerf Necrons, then 3 or 4 or 5
Oh
other
God, are
things
we
come
under
up.
new management from Custodes Guard and Space Marines and
Yep,
scintillating legion?
Thousand Suns. Yeah, it comes like there's this little bottleneck, and the plug is Necrons. Necrons are holding the door, as it were. But Astra were second best by win rate. People keep telling me that the reroll ones to wound on objectives was a really big deal, and I keep telling them it's not as big of a deal as you think it is because they're just going to pivot.
I mean, especially if your name is Nemo the Fish, in which case you should be playing Recon Guard. The number of people out there who like should be playing Recon Guard is so much higher than the number of people who are playing Recon Guard.
True. Yeah, they had 101 players, 5.7% of the meta, which is pretty good. 54.7% win rate, 1 event win, 11 top 4s, 22 top 10s, and a 2.02 overrep. They are coming through for top 4s and podiums at a rapid clip. I think folks just, keep an eye on that. Sisters were in third by win rate.
Saying Vero wants to wound didn't matter is a stretch. It certainly cleaned up the edges of your close matchups. Now they are much closer. I am 100% on board with it still being a very powerful army, especially since Scions don't care. But
it was a big deal for people who were building more tank heavy builds and stuff like that, or trying to pull more horses. Like, it changes the dynamic of list design, but it doesn't change the faction and detachment's power level that substantially.
Oh no, absolutely not at all. Yeah. Guard will still need a tweak in the Daisley, I hope, or still get a tweak in the Daisley, I hope.
Yeah. Sisters are in third. They had 47 players, 2.7% of the meta, and a 53.5. They won 2 events. They had 5 top 4s and 6 top 10s. For, a totally normal 1.97 overrep. Fuck. And Deathwatch, we're in fourth. It's not really hard to see why Deathwatch were in fourth. We talked a little bit about Innis's experience earlier. They had 22 players, a 1.2% meta representation, a 53.3% win rate, 2 event wins, 3 top 4s, 3 top 10s, and a 2.53 overrep. Innis is one of each of those numbers.
Deathwatch was quite good. I have played, like, the practice games I played were like one on WTC terrain where it felt miserable and one on UKTC terrain where it felt really good. So I'm definitely open to the idea that it is one of the more terrain dependent armies in the game. I like to say that a lot of people overblow terrain differences in this game, but certainly teleporting around the UKTC Big Ruin felt really impactful. Teleporting around WTC Ruins felt less impactful. So that's certainly contributing to like my theories on that one there. But
on the other end of things, we had in 5th place Chaos Demons, who had a 53% win rate, had 1 top 4, 6 top 10s, and a 0.26 overrep. And then I realized there is a slight problem in this data set. I'll talk about it at a different point, but I realized that I got to fix it. I forgot to change how Gene Stealer Cult is spelled in my kit, so I'll fix that later. Sorry, Gene Stealer Colts players, but it doesn't change anything about anything.
You are having the worst time.
I know. The bottom 5.
Every time I'm at like events nowadays, people come up to me like, "Yeah, man, I'm a GSC player too. I love your work." And they're like, "Well, what are you playing this week?" And like Custodes. Just every time, like 3 times a tournament now. It's great.
Grey Knights are the worst faction by win rate currently. I don't think anybody's very surprised by this. There were 27 of them, 1.5% of the meta. They had a 41% win rate. They had no event wins. They had a single top 4, 2 top 10s, and a 0.69 overrep. Nice. World Leaders are second from the bottom by win rate. They had 86 players, a 42.4% win rate, 0 event wins, 2 top 4, 6 top 10s, and a 0.43 overrep. Eldari managed to crawl up to third from the bottom with 51 players, 2.9% of the meta, which is, I think, rather low, all things considered, for Eldari. A 43.8% win rate and 3 top 10s, which gives them a 0 for overrep. Emperor's Children are fourth from the bottom, 50 players, 2.8% of the meta, and a 44.7 with a single top 4, 4 top 10s, and a 0.37 overrep. And then Imperial Knights round out the bottom 5 with 43 players, 2.4% of the meta, a 45.8% win rate, 2 top 10s, and a 0 for overrep.
There were a couple of, like, notably, overrep can get a little messy with big events. There were like 2 people who went 6-1 with it at Cherokee, including one person who like had a drop round and actually won all of his games. So
Yep.
There are definitely like Imperial Night builds that are working. They're just not winning tournaments. I certainly wouldn't stress too hard if you're an Imperial.
Yeah,
Night player.
there was Brian or Ben Jones at
I think it was Brian
Cherokee.
Jones and Dustin Hammond both went 6-1.
That the one of those lists looked really interesting. It's the companions list with 5 big knights, and it
that list's been doing pretty decent numbers,
and it will just kill Catan. Like you put the sustained 2 pennant on the one Lancer, you have it charge in, pop the pennant, and just watch it butcher a Catan in melee combat.
Usually.
You need a little bit of fair
Sometimes
wins.
you just ain't roll those 6s, bro. I don't know what to tell you. Sometimes you just like 4 hits.
Sometimes you hope for the
2
best.
wounds. He passed
Sometimes
the Night Brigade
doesn't
me
work.
In my turn.
Sometimes it doesn't work. Usually it should, but sometimes it doesn't. The other event winners from the weekend are Drukhari.
Right? But what if you bounce?
It's true. What if you bounce? Well, if you bounce, then you lose anyways. So you lose all the games where you don't try. Other event winners are Drukhari, who won an event. Death Guard won an event. Tyranids won an event. Tau won 2 events, including the largest event of the weekend. Blood Angels won an event. And then Space Marines won 3 events. And then Chaos Knights managed to pull off their first event win since the introduction of Pantheon and all the Necron stuff from December. So that's kind of where we're standing. Thousand Suns had kind of a middling weekend as far as performance goes, but they're one of the factions that I would keep an eye on. They only had a 48.2% win rate and only a single top 4, but I think that's just a down weekend. And like Innes said, there's a certain amount of overrep that kind of gets occluded by a large number of players being in just a couple events. And then the other factor I think that is involved is like a bunch of people are also at, teams events this weekend. There were several large teams events over the weekend that also took top players in. So it'd be interesting to see what kind of happens.
We'll have Anthony talk about next week. Oh, for anyone who doesn't know, Anthony's flight home got cancelled. He's stuck in Warsaw till Wednesday. That's why he's not here. We would have loved to have him on talking about the event. But that will be a next week thing.
Unfortunately, New York has gotten buried in snow.
Just a little bit, yeah.
What makes it a little hard to fly into. So, but yeah, me and Anthony also have plans to talk a little bit now that we're post Pyra about some CSM changes. So we are going to record that bonus content for y'all. Me and Anthony made a promise to ourselves that we would do it. So look forward to that on the Patreon video side.
You guys are going to have to talk about like how you're porting it over to Marauders or something at this point just to make it relevant.
That is actually what we're going to do, is we're going to talk about all the changes and we're going to talk about Pyra's lists a little bit and kind of how things change moving forwards. And yes, congratulations to Willow, who managed to get into the stats as well. Good job. All right. And that, I think, is it for stats. There's not a lot to talk about at the moment.
Do you want to do any other detachment data? Is anyone else?
Pull it out.
Else that's interesting?
Let's see what we've got. Sisters, Hallowed Martyrs is currently the winner. Champions of Faith is currently the winner of win rate with a 57.3, but Hallowed Martyrs is a 50.6. Custodes, Talons might be good. That is a 67.2% win rate.
That's too high. That's too high by a lot.
Yeah. It's also the 3rd most popular detachment. So maybe y'all should be playing Talons instead of Lions or Shield Hosts. You're just going to put that out there.
That reactive move strat is too good. Probably shouldn't work on Land Raiders.
Eldari's stats are mostly disappointing, but if folks are looking for something to play, Seer Council has the highest win rate currently with a 55.7% win rate. Guardian Battle Host is second with a 51.1, and then it kind of goes under 45 from there. With Aspect Host and Wind Rider kind of at 44. Astra Militarum still has almost everybody playing Grizzled, although the numbers have started to split just a little bit. But Grizzled still has a 56.2% win rate, even though it has the almost 95% of players kind of in it. So I would say that Grizzled is fine, even at summary point. Chaos Demons, Scintillating is still the best one, but Plague Legion also is picking up a bit of win rate and a bit of more numbers, with both of them having a 57% win rate. So I don't know what to say about that aside from that. Demonic Incursion is sitting right behind it, and Shadow Legion also. I'm trying not to sneeze. Damn.
You gonna sneeze? Don't do that.
Not right into my microphone, not today.
I think realistically, this detachment, this data should really come with a no out of phase re-embarking. Let's just get rid of it. Just it doesn't need to exist.
Yep, that nerf that they did to
Venoms can
Eldar
have
should
it,
just be
and that's it.
Yeah. If your vehicle has like that rule as a special rule of being able to re-embark on a T6 chassis
just
that
like
dies
a
to
normal move, shouldn't be allowed to re-embark if it's out of phase. Just it doesn't need to. It doesn't have to do that. It doesn't have to do all that. Vehicles are good enough this edition.
And Black Spear Task Force has a 56.6% win rate.
What is non okay? What's Deathwatch's second highest win rate detachment?
Second highest is Bastion with a 47.4, but it's almost everybody is playing Black Spear. Yeah, it's like 3 people. It's not many.
I tried building that list. It didn't look very good, so I gave up.
Yep. It looked really. It doesn't quite come together. Which is
the problem with it is nothing actually has deep strike.
That is really what it is,
right? Like you need the deep strike to get into position to do anything with it.
All right, and then we scroll down. Imperial Knights, Questoris Companions is the highest win rate. It's a 50.8. Forge Pact is right behind it at a 50, and then it kind of goes down from there. I already talked about Necrons. Space Marines is, as always, just Blades of Ultramar and Gladius, both at a 53% win rate, although I will never not be amused by Stormlance Task Force having an 82.4.
Crazy work.
It's only a few people, but it is very funny. And then Librarius having a 77.8. Again, just 2 people. But yeah, those things are fine.
It's probably for the best. It's probably okay, right?
Tau is probably the one that we should talk about. It's Monka at a 55.4. That is also the majority of players. I don't think anybody's completely surprised by that. Kroot is kind of right behind it by win rate, and Retaliation Cadre as well. Both at a 51 and change between Retaliation Cadre and Kroot Hunting Pack. I think it's not a surprise that Ret Cadre and Monkai are really good, folks, and they're about to get better thanks to a new datasheet that's coming out soon. And then Grand Coven is the one to watch out for Thousand Sons with a 59.4, the vast majority of player base. Hexwarp Thrallband, though, is in third by player base and has a 61.4% win rate, which is quite good.
Quite high.
Yep. So something to watch out for. And that's pretty much it. Like, that's fit to print as far as stats go. There's a bunch of detachments that I'm kind of worried about kind of sitting around in the background, and I don't know what to do about it. Other than say, hopefully GW kind of like takes a very
is wide and far-reaching.
Yeah, systematic. Hopefully systematic in its approach to game balance, and that we get a bunch of different changes to a bunch of different things all kind of at once.
Yeah. Shall we talk about Twin Lance then?
Yeah, let's talk about this data sheet that just makes me think that Amintar's design philosophy they've decided to take with Epic Heroes.
This data sheet's crazy, right? Like, I think it.
Well, why does it? A couple of my friends locally were like, "This data sheet's bad," and then I looked at it, I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
I don't understand how you can look at this and not go, So it's 2 models. Their movement 10, toughness 6, 2 up, 4 up. They're 8 wounds each. Leadership 6, OC 2. Leadership 6, actually, by the way, like vaguely notable for Tau. They're mostly a leadership 7 army. So a little bit of shadow in the warp protection, I guess.
16 wounds, a 2 up, 4 up. 16, a lot.
Yep. They both have a pulse pistol, a burst system, and a gun drone, and then one of the big guns each. So they're basically, they both have D6 shots at 501, and then 2 shots at 611, but hit on 5, so twin links. And then they have 2 or 4 shots depending on rapid fire. Mostly it's going to be 2 because it's rapid fire 12-inch range, so fine at 612. But that's still 8 additional 612 shots. That's not a bad place to be. Plus your 2d6 at 501, and then they both have the big gun, which is like a better melter rifle. 2 shots at 1046, plus it's skill 2, notably. And then they have like a plasma, like a Redemptor plasma style one, 4 shots or 6 shots with rapid fire, hazardous 722 or 833, which is pretty decent. In combat, they get to shoot with their gun at -1 to hit, effectively. So they get 4 attacks on 3s at 612 each, and then they both get they get half the shots of their main weapon that hits on 4s on top of that. So you've got 3 additional damage 2 attacks, and then 1 melta attack. Oh dear God, it hit me. Oh no, what do I do now? Oh no, I felt a wound. Oh dear God. That's the CP reroll essentially. They have Deep Strike. That doesn't matter. They have Scout 8, which does a
Well,
lot.
they hid that in there too. A bunch of people was like, but it scouts 8 for God's know what fucking reason.
They have for the greater good, and they entirely hit on 2s and have another rule that matters, which means that they're going to be really good at guiding for other people. If they're targeting the closest target, they get sustained hits and ignore cover for ranged. Notably, they don't get sustained hits in melee, which is nice. That's a really good rule. Sustained hits is powerful. When they hit on 2s as well and they ignore cover, it means that they're quite good at just being like the thing that guides for something else that you like. A lot of the time with Tau, you'll have like your 1 or 2 stealth suit squads, maybe a Pathfinder squad or something like that, and you're going to just like chip these guys as being like, oh, that unit fell out of a rhino, and I don't have a guide set up for it. I guess Twin Lance can guide it and then shoot something else because they don't care about being guided very much if they're shooting the closest target. So it's quite nice for like reactive mid-war play stuff. Then they have just a crazy rule that at the start of your opponent's charge phase, pick an enemy unit within 12, except a monster vehicle. Doesn't require like line of sight or anything. Why would that matter? And it just takes a battle shock test, and then also it takes -1 to charge. So that's not conditional on them failing the battle shock test. The battle shock test is not contingent on them needing to declare a charge. You can just say, actually, fuck you, you're not scoring area denial. Because why not? Oh, you wanted to stop me getting primary? Actually, no. Also, all your reserve charges are 10s now, which is great. I love that. Love that for us. It's a really cool rule, really fun and engaging and interactive. And then also, at the end of the fight phase, they just make a normal move of 6 inches or a fallback move if they're in combat. So at the end of both players' turns, they either move 6 inches, or if they're in combat, they move 10 inches. Because notably, the fallback move, much like Opportunistic Raiders from Chaos Space Marines, is not a restricted move to 6 inches. So these guys are very capable of charging you, and then piling into you and potentially tagging something else, and then just zipping over you and being like, actually, this is my home objective. Or actually, I'm back behind this wall. Or they just have fire and fade effectively because they can zip out, shoot something, zip back behind the wall. They can, as someone in chat said, rapid ingress and move on to an objective. They can, walk up to something, charge it, fire and fade back behind a wall, move block something if you're willing to lose them. There are so many things you can do with this ability. You can stack this with like the Ox Cadre move at the end of the fight phase as well, because if you're in combat, you can do the fallback from one of them and then normal move for the other one because you're eligible to fight. You can use both. You can't make 2 normal moves, but you can make a fallback and a normal move in the same phase, potentially move 16 inches. If you go second, you can move this unit 3 times before it declares a shooting activation, because you can scout it, then move it at the end of your opponent's fight phase, and then move it in your turn. In Montka, it can auto advance 6, which means that it gets to go potentially. Quick math is what? 10 plus 8 is 18 plus 16 is 34 inches before your first turn if you go second, or before your first shooting phase if you go second. That's cool. On a lot of boards, they can just like sit behind a wall, and if your opponent doesn't put something on the middle, they just like slide onto it to get your 10 to get your 15 on primary. On like boards with that like big rune in the center with the like the little plate thing, any boards with like plates in the center, these guys are absurd on. Now, notably, they're not fragile, but I'm not going to call them durable, right? Like these guys are toughness 6. They're 2 up, 4 up, but like 2 up, 4 up is not like the defensive profile of all time, right? Like we are killing Catan in this metagame, right? Like if you catch these guys, they are gonna like broadly explode. Like a Legionnaire squad is a reasonable threat to making this unit significantly less impactful. They're not super high OC either, right? OC2 is
4
kind of annoying.
total.
Oh yeah, and if they put something on the middle, you could just battle shock it and then fire and fade onto it anyway. Yeah, also very annoying. Bring your chaplains, bring your maguses. Thank you, Ashley. Yeah, this data sheet's absurd. I don't think there's this data sheet kind of has, as you're saying, the Amatar problem, right? Where there's not really a good way to point it, because if it's cheap, it's an auto include, and if it's expensive, it doesn't. All right, like I'm not going to sit here and say that this unit's not good at doing damage, but this unit's not a 300 points of damage unit, right? This unit does not do more damage than a Reptide does for 200 points. It does a little more damage in a couple ways, right? It has a melee profile, it can do a little bit of a chip, it has a couple better meltas than it does, has a little bit of extra burn. But broadly, a Riptide's better at doing damage in this thing under most circumstances because it's better range and it's more durable on the front facing.
Sure.
But what this unit is really good at doing a lot of things a lot of times. It'll do the thing 3, 4, 5 times a game if you let it. It causes a lot of problems to your opponent. If it's cheap, it's an auto include because it just does all of that while having, it's the 80th percent of a fourth Riptide, which is great. That's a good thing. People will take that. If this is pointed as if it does that, it will be absurdly expensive for the damage it does and will cost 300 or 400 points, which it's not going to because it's a new model in 10th edition. So it's going to be like 140 because Amatar was cheap. And it's very much the same as Amatar, right? Like Amatar's buffs are insane. His durability, his damage is decent, and his durability is good, asterisk. And he's insane in Awakened Dynasty, but he's also like ultimately just a 3-up, 4-up with 9 wounds, and there's only so expensive you can make that before it starts feeling like, why is this guy expensive? He doesn't do nearly enough to be worth that, but he also can't be cheaper. So this unit's going to be a balance nightmare, is probably the easiest to describe. This unit is Games Workshop opting into way too much.
There's too many things that it can do, and it can do them well, and it does the game of 40k too well.
Like adding in a genuinely kind of nuts heroic, not because of the damage it will do. Like, look, I'm not gonna, again, the damage that this unit will do in combat is like a squad of Legionnaires, right? Like it's decent enough, right? You're gonna go in, you're gonna get your 12 attacks, you're gonna hit with 6, 7, 8 of them, and you're gonna mess up a scout squad real bad, mostly, as long as they don't use any form of defensive stratagem or you roll at all badly.
Right.
But what it will do after heroics is it will move 10 inches because it will make a fallback move, and then it will be a new, different, insanely obnoxious kind of problem. So suddenly charging near a Tau army becomes significantly more impactful than when it's like an expensive squad of rampagers that can't go through walls. And like, yeah, these guys don't go through walls themselves, but they are presenting just such crazy problems. Now, for Tau players, cool as fuck, right? Absolutely no qualms with that. If I was a Tau player, I would be slamming the buy button on these guys instantly because unless these guys are 240 points plus, they're going in every list I ever play for Tau. Absolutely.
I think even at 240 points, they're still going in every list.
At 240, you start being like, I can get like 2 tanks for this points. Is this actually doing more for me? And like maybe it is, but at 240, it's a choice, right? I think at 200, you're playing them in every list. At less than that, we're good luck to everybody playing Durante for a while.
The biggest problem that I have with this is like if you cut one of these abilities off, this unit's still great. Like if you cut retro thrusters off of it and it was just the ability for it to battle shock things out of line of sight while also having exemplars and Moncom making it completely independent from spotting, this unit would still be great because it moves 10, it scouts 8, it has reasonable to good shooting into profiles that people are interested in killing. Like it has 6 shots at 833, ignores cover, and has to hits. Like it will kill things that you want to kill with this unit at strength 8. And it can kill things in melee. It's not probably going to because it hits on 4s with like most of its meaningful attacks. But it does have enough firepower, and now with its movement, you just never will hold your home objective ever again unless you have sticky. Because this unit will just zip all the way around back there, kill everything that's near a home objective, and then zip all the way back. And you'll just be sad. You'll never have a backfield anymore. You don't have the ability to stage.
Ox Cadre sounds like one of the most frustratingly slippery things to deal with in the game, which is going to be hilarious. And like, look, there are definitely things you can like. How do you deal with this? Charge it. Charge it. Kill it. Commit to killing it. But the thing that kills this thing is gonna be more expensive than it because it's got a 2-up save and toughness 6 and 8 wounds, right? It's not a trivial profile to kill when it's trying not to die, when it's screened by crew or a Riptide or something like that in front of it, and it's causing all these problems. And you could battle shock and not be able to use a stratagem, etc., etc., etc. Realistically, the like fight phase move probably needs to just be at the end of your own turn and not at the end of your opponent's.
But it should be your fight phase, not every fight phase.
Yeah, if it was your fight phase, look, this would still be a fucked up good unit. Or if it was like once per battle round at the end of the fight phase, right? Like let them do it in both turns, but only one of them, not both. But the fact that this is a primary scoring machine and a primary denial machine in the form of the battle shock as well, potentially, or a points denial, like there is a lot going on here.
Like Neocapacitor Shield should be a unit it can see. Retro Thrusters should be a normal move or fallback move up to 6 inches.
And I don't like it's worth saying here, like I don't say these things in like a begrudging it for being strong way, right? It's cool that this data sheet's strong. It looks sick as hell. The fact that they're holding the
They're
pistols
great.
and just like whapping you with them is great, right? I think it's really cool that this data sheet exists. I think it's really
Yeah.
powerful. I think it's powerful in a way that is hard to balance and that presents problems because it's going to make this unit feel either incredibly feast or incredibly famine. And it would be
Yep.
really nice if this data sheet was just a thing that you could include if you want this play pattern by being a little more balanced. Nobody benefits from another Tau data sheet that everyone bitches about, right? Like
Yep.
if this data sheet's 20% weaker and 30% cheaper because it gets to be because it's not broken, Tau players that want to play with it get to play with it.
Mhm. I think the biggest problem I have is that we're starting to, it seems like, enter into a design space where we just keep slapping more and more datasheet abilities onto things. Like
Look, the
Necrosaur
fact
has
that
the
this guy
same
doesn't give a
problem.
redeploy as well is the only saving
Yeah, that's the there's no room left on the card to add that fourth
Twin Lance
ability in this,
Twin
or they
Lance with
would.
Maelstrom is coming next. Look,
Yeah,
all I'm saying
fuck.
is I can't wait to see what the new Tyranid and Votann characters do.
That's where they stop, because these two are epic heroes, so they get everything under the
Look,
sun.
if I want that Tyranid data sheet, better give me like and a $5. You better just like say at the end of it, and you get £5 at the end of the game.
Yeah, the Tyranid data sheet comes with, and you get several free units of gargoyles that spawn every turn. That's what happens. It comes with a ever-flowing chalice of gargoyles.
When
you
this
get one in 10
when this
mana.
unit dies, set up it and an identical unit in strategic reserve. It gains deep strength or something like that, right? Like
Yeah.
that's what Tyranids need.
I get 3 of them now. Congratulations.
Yeah, they res on a 2-up with their unit
Yep.
in the same place at the end of your opponent's next turn.
Yeah. They did make the Reeve captain between all these epic heroes, and the Reeve captain is, you can tell that the Reeve captain had a different ability language on his ability.
The Reeve captain
when
was
they first
the Reeve
created
captain
the
got
Reeve
written,
captain.
and then someone played 3 of him in 10-man chosens in Bile and was like, nah,
We
and
can't do
they're
this,
like,
guys.
he gets it.
+1 strength, +1 AP for the unit of chosen would have been madness. Like, let's not pretend that wouldn't have been crazy.
So someone put 3 of them in 3 10-mans in Bile with Abaddon and was like, I'm gonna just try this. And someone was like, we're just not gonna do that today. I don't even care if it's good. I just don't want that to be a list people are thinking about.
It also would have just made Anthony so mad when all of a sudden all of those infiltrating units of Reavers were strength 6 AP2 with their chainsword.
Oh yeah, of course. Okay, the other thing they previewed this week was the new Knight Destrier, which okay, so like, I made a joke in the Scotland Discord that I was really excited to see the new Calyrex form, which I know that most people won't get, but I wanted to say it because we'll now have Calyrex Knight Rider, which just made me laugh.
I, for one, am really excited by a model whose text makes me think they involved orcs in the design of it, because they clearly just strapped rockets to it, is what they say in the
I hope it's still
text.
slower than a carnivore.
Oh god, it's going to be.
Right,
but this
is
model looks
sick
great
as hell.
Yeah,
This is
great.
cool. This is cool. This is cool. This is cool. It's got a banner.
It does. It has 3 great helmets, is what it really shows in the images. It shows that they finally figured out that they can make good helmet sculpts for these models.
This helmet rips, by the way.
That is the best one.
This helmet makes me think of Infinity Blade for just another incredibly dated
wow,
reference.
we're really old iPad reference now in this. I too played the Infinity Blade once upon a time.
This is cool as hell. It does just look like a
cannon.
jackhammer. I know it's a frag cannon, but you know.
And yeah,
anyway,
it's like right in a good spot for size.
And also,
right
like, this is definitely just like there's going to be more of these coming, right? The Belotus class chassis. No way they don't do more. I hope Chaos Knights don't get them because that'll be really funny.
I hope they don't get them because we need to start seeing differences between the two factions. It's kind of silly otherwise. But yeah, that lance is like rocket punch powered. So it's like you hit somebody and it powers it with a rocket at you, and it has a jump pack on the back.
It's got double lance. It's just got lance printed on the profile.
It's got Melta Lance is what it's got. It's got like the Melta ability.
No, I truly want it to have Lance so that it gets +2 to wound and so it cancels out like Victrix is -1.
Just the extra Lance, and then it has rockets apparently on its back to make it faster. Is what they said.
The rocket boots are going to be like once per game fly or something like that. That'd be cool.
Or they get deep strike natively, like they can come out of the sky. There was.
I'm so glad I don't have to think about Mysterious Guardian anymore, Nathan. Don't wish that evil on any of us. What are
No,
you doing?
it's gonna be Deep Strike. They're gonna have one shot Deep Strike on them.
Shit, Nathan, no, we fucked it up. Obviously, those are retro thrusters.
Yeah, they are. They're retro thrusters to make it go slower as it comes down.
No, he's gonna move 6 inches at the end of every fight phase.
Oh, that's true. You're right. It's gonna get a reactive move every fight phase.
Oh Christ!
Or actually, they're gonna be retro boosters that give it fights first, so it just always fights first because
it's got fight first, but it can only use its Titanic feet as it kicks you really hard,
right in the teeth.
Yeah, this has got like 8th edition Titanic feet rules.
I hope so. Yeah. Riposte will be the special ability. There you go. Thank you, Mr. Fukushima. I'm excited for that model because it does look cool. Because it looks like they finally are updating the Knight design philosophy to the modern 40k design philosophy, which is nice.
I'm just really glad because I own like 6 big knights and 2 Armiger Helverins, and I'm just like, I don't want to buy 6 Armigers to update my Knight army, but like I'll buy these guys. These guys look cool.
100%. I am thinking if they don't change Necron's Bunch to paint up to finish painting the 5 Imperial Knights that I assembled while I lived in Boston, because I have Lancers and stuff like that. And so I'll just play that and just fuck up some Catan Stace and some of the
I don't think I've used one of my Knight models since I was like, I don't think I've painted a new Knight model since I had them in White Dwarf, and that's a dated reference.
That is a long time.
That was 2018. So that's the last time I built and painted a Knight model. So.
I don't know. And as I recently got the notification that my Gmail account can drink in the United States, it's 21 years old, so I get you.
Nice. I think my Hotmail will be 21 in 3 years.
Yeah, I got that notification, and I was like, I didn't need
in about 15 years, but I have it.
I didn't need that notification from Google that's how old that email account was. I was like, I just didn't need that, guys. There's no reason for that.
Oh, it's gonna have it should have competitive edge.
Oh yeah, where every missed attack gets to go again.
Yeah, every missed hit, wound, or failed save or passed save gets to go again. That's what.
I love that for it. Actually, yeah, that's the rocket.
Actually, that's what
ability.
That's what the new Tyranid Prime is going to give warriors.
Competitive edge. They still wouldn't be good at this. They still wouldn't be good.
No, they wouldn't be. But imagine, right?
It could give that unit +1 strength, +1 toughness, and +1 AP.
Thanks for the money, Tim.
Pantheon.
It's going to give them It's going to give them transhuman. That's obvious.
Yeah, it's transhit and transhuman is what it's going to do.
Transhitman, transhuman. No rerolls to hit or wound.
Exactly, and people still wouldn't take warriors. People still won't take.
I still don't think. I don't think it'd be enough. Yeah,
it would.
Actually, that probably
very
would be.
depressing.
That definitely would be. In warrior bio from one slot where they get a 5 invulnerable save, that would definitely be enough.
That's when it would be okay. That's when it would be enough. Yes.
Oh, right. Let's do some plugs because we're almost.
I'll find the questions thread.
Fantastic. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being with us so far on the show. If you're enjoying the show, please do remember to do all of the usual things on the social side. That's liking, commenting, subscribing, recommending us to a friend, reviewing podcast apps, all that good stuff. We have to ask because it genuinely does help move the numbers. We do our best to respond to all the comments and have a bit of a chat with you guys. So if you've got any feedback, you want to let us know about anything, you want to bully someone else into getting a new mic, I'm probably going to buy a new webcam at some point because I need one to record some content with. So I'm going to be expensing some stuff soon. So, cyberbullying always works on content creators. Don't trust. That's not true. Actually, only bullying Nathan works.
What?
Get in Nathan's DMs.
You're welcome to slide into my DMs if you want to ask me questions.
If you guys want to hear even more from us, you can check out all the other shows on our network as well as back episodes of StatCheck at youtube.com/StatCheck. If you want to hear from our other podcast, that's End of the Matrix, XM1, Take All Comers, Champions of 40k, and Medicaid's Orders. You can find them at youtube.com/StatCheck. We're live every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. UK time to have a chat with you guys about all things Warhammer. If you're in a position to support us a little bit more and you'd like to chuck some money our way, you can check out patreon.com/StatCheck or YouTube memberships in the description box below. That gets you access to bonus content, bonus videos. I'll be having at least one coming out in the next week. Again, we're aiming for kind of 2 a month on that kind of cadence, and we shall see how long I can continue to keep that up. It's been a little, I think I missed one because I was traveling back from London, but there will be a bunch coming this week. What else have I got to chat about? coaching, stat-check.com/coaching, or drop us an email at coaching@stat-check.com if you'd like to work with any of us, if you'd like to learn how to YOLO an army for a super major and do better than you thought you would. Any of these kind of things, all of our wonderful coaches are here to help you. Drop us a message and we'll find someone suited to your needs and your goals. Obviously, we've hopefully, fingers crossed, got a balanced data slate coming up soon. We don't know. We can't promise you anything, but we're hoping, based on current patterns. The last one was in December. 3 months later is March. Please be in March. Please be early in March. I would love it to be next week.
I would love for it to randomly drop on a Sunday.
It'd be great if it was just like Wednesday the 4th. But we shall see. Anything else I need to plug on the stat check side? I think broadly. We have sponsors. Yeah, we should probably plug our sponsors.
You do.
You can check out J15 Games, Saltar Games, Will Yutani, and Red Dragon, all in the description box below. If you're looking for basically anything hobby related, you'll find it at one of them, whether you're in Europe, America, or the UK. Check them out. Tell them we sent you by using one of the discount codes. If you are a StatCheck patron or YouTube member, you'll get the Red Dragon discount code. For all the others, they're in the box. Wonderful, wonderful stuff that we recommend you check out. Thank you for helping us pay the bills and keeping the lights on. Let's move on to some show questions, which, as always, there are 2 good ways to get your question answered on the show and one kind of terrible way, but usually works. One is to leave us a super chat on the YouTube live stream. One is to be a member of our Patreon and YouTube Discord and leave it in the show question thread. And the third one is to just ask a really good question that we have time for, and we'll do our best.
Yep.
Nathan, kick us off.
I'll be honest. We get to maybe a regular YouTube question 1 out of every 10 times at most. Because
we definitely do some questions every week. We just don't get to all of them because time is.
We get tired.
And Innes wants to go to bed.
Yeah, we get tired after a while, guys. Henry the Wizard has the first question, which is how many lovely StatCheck hosts will be at Adepticon? I have personal grievances against Adepticon moving to Milwaukee, so I probably won't be there.
I am not coming to America for Adepticon.
Reasonable.
I will be over for BFS, almost certainly.
The next event that I'm going to be at that I think a lot of people will be at is the Ottawa event in August. I think is the one that I'll be at.
I'm considering coming over to that. I need to have
you
a
should.
look at that one. Yeah, it's just after WTC, so it's possibly feasible. But I'm not sure yet.
I think I might have convinced Cliff to go. So
when Cliff's there, I'm there. With
I know.
I will.
I'm just putting it out there. It is. You should plan that trip now.
I should.
Look, Scotch. I will be on the cold ground before I acknowledge the existence of Milwaukee.
What for you bury me in the cold ground?
But yeah. Simon H. Oathing politely has the next question, which is, I assume it'll be addressed during the show, but what were the takeaways from Pyra about factionless usage? We'll talk about that next week when Anthony is back. Honestly,
Scintillating Legion and Drakari are trolling, gaslighting terrible armies. Chaos Space Marines maybe only has 1 good detachment, which is possibly Marauders. Admech is an all right first defender, but most of you aren't Skark. Custodes is stupid. Guard is bad unless you're Nemo.
I think
which
the
seems
biggest
wrong,
thing that I learned
the Pyra stat said
is that it was actively trolling to not bring Necrons for one person, for one group of people, which is fine.
Don't play more DACA.
Yeah, just put somebody on something else. It's okay. It's okay to just put them on something else. Steven has the next question, which is, if people are expecting your army to get a huge change in the upcoming data slate, I don't know why, but people think Necron's getting big changes. And you have an event 1 week after. How do you practice or stay motivated before the patch? And how do you practice?
Bro, just play. Just play. Mm-hmm. You're going to get better at learning what the other armies do and how to do things. Like, Warhammer just is a more complicated game than your army is. So just get better at playing Warhammer. Focus on making good decisions. That will carry over any data slate. People fixate so hard on lists. List writing is not a RuneScape skill. You do not write 100 lists and then you hit 99 list writing and then you just win games. That's not how this works. Learn to play better. Make better decisions. A list that helps you make better decisions is a good list. That's okay.
I think the biggest thing for me, and what I told somebody earlier last week when they were talking to me about potentially seeing Custodes changes in the slate, because Custodes are doing well. I told them you cannot practice for an event, for a meta that does not exist. You can only practice for the meta you have with the rules that you have, and you should just play 40k with the meta you have. And then when the meta changes, play that meta. But you can't play the game in a theoretical meta that doesn't exist. So just play and develop the skills for the meta you have. Don't play for the meta you don't have, is what I would say.
We live in a society. It's okay.
True. Also, it's like a 2-hour drive to Milwaukee, folks. It's not just a Chicago suburb. Stop.
So you couldn't like no walk there.
That's good. I like it. That was bad fun, actually. But
it was terrible. I'm having a good day today.
I enjoyed it. The funniest thing is that when it's just the two of us, you just have stronger pun energy, and I enjoy it. You're much punnier when it's just the two of us. Yates has the next question, which is, as we approach 11th with its potential to drop soon, oh fuck, how do y'all approach the adjustment of a new edition?
Focus on your fundamentals. The game is going to play broadly the same, in the sense that Warhammer is a game of risk and resource management. So go and play games that allow you to get better at risk management and resource management. The armies don't matter that much. Just play and learn and reflect on the games you play. It is okay that the game's going to be different because you're not going to be different. You're going to be the same goddamn player. So if you just don't play for a bit and then you play against people who were playing, they're going to have grown in the time that you were not playing. It is okay to just play the game for playing the game's sake, not for the sake of like practicing for 11th edition. Practice for yourself. You will enjoy it more if you are focusing on your development, right? Play more. Play more.
I think the biggest thing is like you cannot play for something that doesn't exist, and you can self-defeat by constantly telling yourself that you can't play because the meta might change or the edition might change. You just need to play what you have in front of you and you develop your skills.
Scary just joined the chat. Scary practices for tournaments by playing Crusade leagues because he's smarter than Nathan and can do that well. Because he just learns to play the game better. He makes different decisions and learns stuff. Right?
Like rude as fuck.
Sure.
But true. Just play. You can play whatever and develop skills. You don't need to develop skills just in competitive. You can play them in narrative as well if you want. And just try out.
You can only take the person you are to a tournament. More focus on becoming a better player. Worry about being better in a metagame later.
Nick K asks a question that's for Anthony that wants to stay safe for next week. Innes immediately afterwards acknowledging that. And then Chris J has, how much of Eldar's poor win rate is a factor of having almost an entire edition without needing to seriously alter list / playstyle versus being hit with an early edition level of performance that would have then had several balances patches to slowly cycle them back up to the correct level? I think that's just a long way of saying is, are Eldar players just not thinking about the balance changes well?
Eldar have a specific confluence of they got hit in the nards pretty hard, no doubt there, and also the meta is a little hostile to them, and it's a bad combination when you're playing in a hostile meta game with an army that is worse than it used to be, and people are still broadly trying to play it like it used to be. The two games I played against Eldar at the weekend were challenging to watch in the sense that it felt like the Eldar just didn't have a good way to execute. And I think that there is only so much you can do to build around that at the moment. There are still things you can do. Axel and Jack Harpster have been getting away with Triple Fire Prism. They're a lot better than the average Eldar player, and they can get away with that. But I don't know, man. There's just only so much you can do. I think Eldar are punished by Scintillating Legion. They don't have a great matchup into even Drakari, potentially. The Deathwatch matchup is pretty bad. The Ultramarines matchup is pretty bad. The Custodians matchup is pretty bad. Like, there's just a lot of things out there that are preying on you right now, and you can build for some of it, but not all of it. And when Eldar has to pick for some of it, if you hit the wrong side of the metagame spectrum, you just get flatlined because the army is fragile, tricksy elves in a metagame that is not about being fragile and tricksy. It's about saying, can you kill 5 Catan? It's as BML says in the chat, it's a similar place that EC are in. Like, EC are a little better at doing the direct damage side of things, but also can't really flit around and can't play the Teehee game quite as well. So they have kind of similar problems. But
when the Teehee game also got nerfed to the point where you can't really Teehee anymore, your Teehee army can't Teehee effectively.
How Teehee better than Eldar?
It's true. The one data sheet that they've just previewed Teehee's better than the whole Eldar army does. So there you go.
Yeah, it's not very they're not very good in a Gunch metagame, as Sam Pope would say.
It's true. God damn. I want to really share that little triangle of Gunch stuff, but we'll do it maybe a different time. John Johnson has the next question, which is: having just taken 5 big nights with invulns to 5 and 2 at Cherokee, I can officially say this is the dumbest thing I've ever played. What would you say to a rewrite for big tough stuff to be more like Sigmar, where the wounds are much higher, but instead of an invuln is just to feel no pain? That way, there's a sense of progression, seeing the wounds go down instead of praying your opponent doesn't just bounce all of your damage. Watching my opponent's Angron hand my Lancer 4 damage made me feel sick. I think that's like
it would be
fine.
reasonable to do. Yeah, like I think it's one of those things though. Like people get really frustrated when they can't kill a thing in front of them, and 40k is not on a stage. Like I'd stand by. I think the game would be in a much better space if you could reasonably put 5 Terminators in the open and expect them to be there next turn, like at least some of them, and that's not a thing you can do. And I think that the game is worse off for that because things that could be durable don't feel durable, but only insane durability feels durable. Big Knights, if they were like 50 wounds with toughness 9 and a 3 up, 6 up, and like would feel really annoying for armies that didn't have big spike damage, and it's probably fine, but they have to do nothing to be allowed to do that, right? That's kind of the problem. Like Wraith Bricks get away with it because Wraith Bricks don't do anything. You don't want a knight that is a sponge because to be a sponge, it has to not do anything, and that's gonna the fantasy is shit on both sides of that equation.
I think part of the problem currently with the way the design space is like there's like a toggle, like where you exponentially become more durable at a certain point when stats get there, right? So like Catan are there. They have just enough rules where they're exponentially more durable than the thing before them.
Yeah, and toughness rules all compound on each other, right? Wounds compounds with feel no pains, compounds with -1 damage, compounds with invulnerable saves. Knights are at the point where they only really have wounds compounding with toughness and invulnerable save. They don't have the -1 damage on top of that. And like you can get a little bit of it in like Armigers and Spearhead arms and stuff like that, and that's fine. I think like if you were going to say like Knights could afford to probably be -1 damage if they were a good bit more expensive, but like a lot of the problem here is also that you're comparing Angron's damage output. Angron's bad at doing damage. So that's also part of the problem, right?
Yeah. I think there's like
bracketing being fake also compounds that, right? Like if Big Knights lost one of their 2 arms at half health, like or like how like the Silent King has one of the only bracketing rules in the game that matters, and it doesn't because he's a Necron model. But when the Silent King's under 5, he loses half his attacks. Big Knights could lose half their attacks when they bracket. That'd be fine.
Good.
That'd be totally okay.
We should honestly go back to 9th edition bracketing, where bracketing actually meant you needed to be bracketed and be worse.
Loses half his attacks. I think if things just lost half their attacks when they were below a third, the game would be so much better.
And honestly, 9th edition had a good thing where some detachments just honestly were in the conversation because they had the ability to ignore bracketing. And they weren't always good or the ones you picked, but it was something you considered and opened up more detachments to play.
I think the fact that was like so centralizing on the way you spent CP wasn't always a great thing, but certainly there is a conversation to be had about a better way to do it than current, because current is bad.
And I do think Age of Sigmar has it the right way, where big models are expensive, deal a lot of damage, and are also soak like a little bit like.
But the game would be so much cooler if like Angron was a 600-point model. Yeah.
And did like a lot more things. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
On a similar note, can 2-up saves that stack cover and AOC also go the way of rerollable 2-up invulnerable saves? I'm sick of -3 tank destroyer guns getting saved on 3s. It's fair. I think that's reasonable.
I think AOC is at a reasonable state now. It being 1 activation kind of helps. I think part of this is just like anti-tank guns. It's just such a weird dynamic, right? Because we talk about stuff being too killy or too durable, but we also want to kill all durability mechanics so that stuff kills stuff easier. Like it just feels weird, right? Like there's so many disjointed factors here that it's hard to say. I'll tell you that playing Space Marines, like playing Bastion Task Force Black Templars without access to AOC, is miserable. It sucks. You feel it so much. So I don't really know how you feel that.
Yeah, I mean, the lethality of this less lethal edition is too high, actually.
Like AOC honestly should probably give you like a 6-up feel no pain or something like that. But
yes. All right. Tim the Sorcerer has the next question. Is there anything that GW event team could do to improve their events? I think GW events are really well run, but there are things they could do to improve them. Like every event. This is universally true. All events can do things to improve them, folks.
Please publish the missions in advance of the event. And please, for the love of all that is gameplay, stop playing long edge deployments. Dawn of War and Sweeping Engagement are not suitable deployments for 10th edition. Please just stop playing them. This goes out to the UKTC as well. Dear goodness, why do we play that game round 1 and 6?
Yep. I think if you want really well smoothly run events, GW events are the best ones to go to. If you're new to the 40K competitive scene, go to a GW event. Go to
Tacoma, GW will
in
hold your
the
hand like
States.
nobody else in the business, right? Like that's what they're there for, right? Games Workshop's great at that.
Yep. But they do need to change some of their mission pack stuff specifically. There's also this thing where they play every single mission because like it's GW and they want to play every single competitive mission. And that's just not necessarily a good thing.
It's okay.
Some of them are bad. And it's okay. Some of them can be bad. You just play the better ones, and that's okay.
That would be okay.
Frank has the next question, which is, are we at the point where Necrons need an emergency old yeller between the event data and with how vocal the community has been? It's clear that they're as close to a toxic army as you can get.
Look, we just need some brave German TO to ban them for a week to summon the balanced data slate.
The problem I have right now is that unlike in December where the community was actually very vocally upset, angry, and like on Reddit every day complaining about it.
Yeah, people seem to be pretty chill about Necrons on the whole.
People
are like, yeah, Necrons need nerf, but no one's like raging about it. It's quite funny.
I will say the bigger thing for me has been that the Reddit for Warhammer Competitive has been banning and deleting any thread that just complains about Necrons before they get really visible and gain a lot of traction. Which feels counterproductive when it's like
the Reddit's a very good place to communicate information, unfortunately.
Yeah, but also it seems like TOs have run out of the motivation to ban Necrons, or
we really just need one good German TO to save us all.
Yeah, if one German TO could just step out in front of it and be great about it, that would be great. Just do that. Yeah. Please do it. Just do it.
Where's Calvin when you need him?
Yeah, or if just any TO of a circuit in any country, if you could just ban it and then talk about it on social media a bunch, that would be amazing. But also,
your time is nigh.
We are at the point where they should be taken out back, and all of the Catan data sheets should get major overhauls. We're just at that point.
Agreed.
Grigori has a next question, which is, congrats, Innes. How would have you seen your chances if you had to play an additional final against David Gaylord's list?
I would have been totally fine. I think that matchup was great for me. I don't say that with I say his build was not good at killing infantry. He was double oath, but I don't really care. I'm playing Space Marines. I have indirect to kill all of his chaff that he doesn't really get to use, and I have the capacity to just murder his stuff at range. I think it would have been totally fine. It's a losable game 100%, but I think I would have been totally fine.
And Grigori's second question is, how did you lose so much weight?
I'm really, really sorry to say that the answer the whole time was hard work, diet, and exercise, and it's miserable, and it makes me upset. Because what I did was I did couch to 5K, and I started running. And then I started tracking my calories, and I cut down to about 3,000 calories while I was running. And then when I was at Brian's and I wasn't able to run because my asthma was playing up, I cut down to 2,400 calories, and I stuck to it. And I was shedding about 1 kilo a week. And unfortunately, that was the whole fucking answer, which is really annoying because it took me 29 years to get to the point where I was consistently able to do that. But it did work. So really sorry. Yeah, I didn't do the jabs or anything like that because that's expensive and I didn't want to spend money on it. I was like, I can do it. I don't want to spend that money on it, so I better figure it out myself. So I just did it. And that sucked. Really sucked.
Yeah, one of the hardest things I think that you learn is that there's no miracle drug or silver bullet.
Your own self.
It's
really awful.
At a certain point, it is just you got to do some things. And one of the more even harder things that you learn is that you can't just do one or the other. You have to kind of do both.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm basically a Tamagotchi, but I'm a Tamagotchi.
That's okay. Kara Quinn is the next question, which is, I'm finally burned out on Custodies after 7 years. I own Blood Angels, Space Wolves, Imperial Fists, Orcs, Necrons. Give me an interesting army to build, paint, and play that is not those, please. I'm at the point I might paint Napoleonics.
Interesting army to build, paint, and play that is not those. I think that Genestealer Call is one of the most fun armies that you can play because it always has different builds. I think Tyranids is super fun and also gives you a really interesting different play pattern. It's also a bunch of biologicals which you won't have done before, and Tyranids is a super wide range. I wouldn't recommend Tyranids as being insanely fun to play right now, but there's wouldn't take a ton for there to be a bit more to it wouldn't take a ton for Nids to be super interesting. and I believe in Nathan Roberts. So
I think Gene Stealer Colts have one of the best lines of models as well, just like from a character and
the
like
GSC models are super
point of
cool
view.
and like trivial to
Mhm.
convert as well. Like everything from Necromunda is a GSC model if you want it to be.
Yep. And the Necromunda Gene Stealers are great. Those
Oh yeah,
freaking
I have
corrupted, diseased ones, they're awesome looking. Yep. Those things, awesome. The Malstrains.
sitting
He
ready to
did
build.
say Necrons in his pack of things that he didn't want to do. So I would say Gene Stealer Colt. Do it. They're great fun. A similar army to that, where the models are amazing and the rules are still pretty good, is Sisters of Battle. Is another line. They have great models and have a fun play pattern right now. Isaac, wasted by a Squigoth. T has a question. I don't know how you got wasted by a Squigoth. Aren't those in Legends? How did the
I
shields
don't
and
actually think
swords?
so.
Are they still in the index? Interesting. Damn.
I think so.
How did the shields and swords feel versus having the guns on the vet squad?
I really liked just having the ability to just have a 4 vulnerable save. The unit was like randomly a lot more durable and got to keep playing the game a lot more. I really, really liked it. Also, the like extra 12 attacks at 5-2-1 was not nothing a lot of the time. And I never found they were ever dropping in a position where they really got to use their guns, but they were often getting in positions where they needed to use their durability. So no, I did not really mind it at all. What I did wish is that they had like bolt pistols, because I a couple of times had like one guy tagged in combat with them that was really fucking annoying, because I was like, well, I really hope the Judicar's Absolver bolt pistol gets me out, or that I have a Haywire Mine nearby, and that was really annoying. Made me long for like having a squad of like Outland Jackals or something nearby to drive by and pop them out, but c'est la vie.
And then the second question was also, what was the deal with the infiltrators? Did they feel necessary?
I really liked having them. They gave me the ability to like actually play my side objective a little more consistently. I was usually using them like quite defensively, just like this side of the board is mine, and they would go on like the side that my like Indomitor would deploy in, the one that I was going to try to teleport. So I would do like, if you're kind of imagining board as like left hand side, like top left is my expansion objective on like Crucible or Search and Destroy, bottom is my home objective, right? So like home objective gets intercessors, top left objective gets incursors with scout to go onto it, and then infiltrators behind them. Blown up lieutenant plays that side or the middle, depending on the matchup. And then like the Indomitor deploys it like the top left, where if my opponent like hard pressure my objective, the captain can like stage up, walk out, punch, and if my opponent just ignores my expansion objective because there's a bunch of stuff on it, the Indomitor teleports from there and they screen that corner. My backfield's screened pretty well by the intercessors being there. There's like a Fortis kill team sitting in that region, like cleaning out the rest of it, and then everything else pushes towards my opponent's expansion objective, particularly the fight first unit or the advance and charge unit with like the Watchmaster, was kind of how that would go. So yeah, I found them really helpful. They just kept my backfield secure the entire time. No one ever really got behind me in all 7 of my games. And I found like when you're playing an army that teleports and doesn't fall back in charge, having somewhere to run away from your opponent to is super important. And having infiltrators to like just make sure you always have that was really nice. I don't typically love infiltrators. I find them a unit that is mostly win more, but in this specific build, they felt like they did a really good job of doing that. And a couple of times they were also just like my poke and prod unit, because you don't have a reactive move from like playing Gladius. That I was sometimes just like, I'll put one infiltrator on the middle, he's gonna feel no pain, and if I AOC them, I can get it back on a 5, which was not nothing. They also in my game 1 body blocked the shit out of a big knight that would definitely would have been able to see my entire deployment zone on turn 1 if it had gone first. They just stood on the little plate and were like, you can't land here, so that I didn't get turn 1 alpha struck super hard. And JPIs just don't do that. There's nothing else with infiltrate that really does that besides the lone up lieutenant, who I just didn't want to lose like that.
Right. Just Judy in Deep Strike. That's the Judiciary.
Just Judy and Deep Strike, yeah. Nothing else has Deep Strike naturally, and I hate coming off the board edge with Space Marine models. So,
and then any advice for someone who lives 30 minutes from a Durante?
No.
No.
Sorry.
You're doomed. There you go. Lord Draconis has a question, which is something we already really talked about, which is Tau seem really good in the current state of things, especially with the new twins. Thoughts? We did a pretty long thing where we talked about how
Tau have won multiple super majors this patch. They are a very competent and compelling army. They're totally fine. Twin Lance will improve them greatly.
Yep, they just won the largest event of the weekend just this weekend.
They won Palm Springs last month. Like, they're in the hands of a capable player. They are phenomenal.
Calrain asks, how disappointed are you that Anthony is not present to rant about the Twin Lances data sheet?
I'm glad Anthony's having a lovely time in Warsaw, and I hope he deserves his holiday and his blood pressure being lowered a little bit.
Yep. I will say that it is very funny that the Twin Lances do not have Lance or Twin Linked on any of their weapons.
Also,
though.
Lord
I think
Draconis,
that's quite
change your name
funny.
to include your username, to include the name you go by in real life in your Discord handle, please. It'd be appreciated. It's
Unless your name is Draconis, which
if it is,
more power to you.
then like congrats, man. I loved you in Malazan.
Ritz indirectly asking for Innis, does the success of the Vangor launchers this weekend raise your opinion on other indirect options such as Guard or
No.
First Company?
No. So right. Real talk. The reason the Forest Kill team is good is because it's a 180 point unit. Also has indirect while doing a bunch of other shit like being OC2 and 30 attacks at +1 to hit, occasionally +1 to wound, and like 4 plasma guns with potentially lethal or sustained, 4 good bolt rifles with strength 5, lethal or sustained, and 2 grenade launchers. Like the fact that unit does a bunch of other stuff on top of being 2 indirects. So when you're playing matchups where the indirect is not super relevant, the Forest Kill team actually makes it more relevant because I'm not going to oath for my indirect in a lot of matchups. But what I will do is shoot something that's got like 2 health left because I get the +1 to wound in the Forest Kill team. So then they clean it up a bunch, right? So against like Chaos Knights in game 1, there's like a 4 health carnivore. Okay, fire 3 Vanguard launches that. I don't want to have to commit an activation into it, but I can probably kill it with that, especially if I've just like incidentally got my sustained or lethal turn up, which you usually do in the crux of the game. And then the same kind of thing, right? Like when it's really good, you can oath for it and you can use strats for it, but you're not committed into running it. It's like, it's in this build, quote unquote, it's 160 points of your army because it's like quote unquote 18 points a model, right? Three sets of 180 point units, 2 models in that squad, 30 or not even that. Am I bad at math? Like 110 points of your army for 6 Desolation Marines by rough math. A unit of 5 of them that comes with 1 Vanguard launcher, not 4 or not 3, is 200 points. So it's just really, really efficient indirect, and it's a very compelling reason to play Death Watch for that reason. Because even in matchups where it's not incredible, it's still useful.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, committing to bringing field ordnance batteries or whirlwinds and stuff like that are just like sometimes just dog shit, man, and they demand your oath super hard and they don't benefit from buffs super well. Forest Kill teams take buffs so easily. And sometimes you just direct fire it because they hit on 3s. It's fine.
Yeah. I see that Lord Draconis has already updated their name. We're very proud of you.
Star.
And yes, Ben, you should go by Laird Jurek. Although Lord Draconis now has a question of, has Innis read the Malazan Books of the Fallen in their entirety? And what is your favorite character?
Go for it. Can't see all of my bookshelf, but it's up. I don't know how good the quality is on my camera, but
it's like, very dark.
It's up there. Malazan. I've read all of the original 10. I've read Knight of Knives and second one, Return of the Crimson Guard. I finished the last one. I finished Triple God like 4 months ago, and 3 months ago, and I've been taking a bit of a break before I jump into rereading all of the Esselmont stuff because I have like up through Stonewielder up there to read. I want to get through those, but I've been reading a bunch of stuff on the site since then. I'm like 10 pages into Strength of the Few so far. But yeah, it's on my list of continuations. But I really enjoyed it. Favorite character? It's a weird one. I really enjoy all the time you spend with Icarium. But I don't know if he's my favorite character, but he's certainly one of my favorite perspectives to read because I love the like backstory bit of like the relearning the world section. But I'm not sure I would say he's my favorite character. But certainly one of the sections, the character perspective I enjoy the most is like him or Tehel are 2 of the really fun ones.
You can see that. I think when you read those multiple perspective books, it's important that you have perspectives that you just enjoy reading, even if you don't like the character a bunch.
Oh yeah, like every time I have to read anything about Eskrel Posk, I'm just like so annoyed that I'm reading Eskrel Posk, but also I'm having a great time because chapters are funny, but I can't stand him. Right? He's a tosser. And like I like Cotter as a character, but I often find a lot of his sections quite boring because he just often is just in the doldrums, and I'm like, whatever.
It's important for those books that the characters you don't like are still entertaining, because otherwise it's a fucking slog.
Yeah, for sure. But if I reread House of Chains, I may skip the Felicen chapters just because I don't always want to be sad. I don't always want to be sad and depressed. And it's like, I'm really sorry, Felicen. I understand your plight and that you're 13 years old or something stupid like that. And this is a terrible thing to be happening to you. But I really just hate reading it.
Yeah. I on subsequent read-throughs, I tend to skip the chapters that I don't enjoy the perspectives of. In Game of Thrones, I skip a bunch of them all the time because I'm like, some of these chapters are just long.
Uni.
The first 3 are really good, and then they kind of drag after that, is my opinion. And they just made my favorite series of novellas that he wrote.
I finished watching that today. So it was very enjoyable. Really I never read the novellas.
Yeah. Oh, the novellas and graphic novels are quite good.
I don't know. I just kind of refuse to give George R. R. Martin more money until he fucking finishes Winds of Winter. I read A Dance with Dragons while I was studying for my GCSEs, which I did when I was 16. I am 29.
I'm going to let you in on a secret
that that's book's never coming. I know. That's why I'm not giving him any more goddamn money, Nathan.
My thing is just like, if that's the line you can draw on. I'm just tired of fans, to be honest.
That's fair. I'm tired of many fans as well. Not the Static fans. Static fans are wonderful.
I invested a ton of time and energy in my youth to being in like George R. R. Martin's like fan group and stuff like that. And, like, we hosted parties and we traveled to conventions and stuff like that, and like got to interact with him a ton. And I'm just like, I'm about as invested as you could have gotten, and I just don't give a shit. And people complaining about it never coming out, and like how George R. R. Martin loves them.
He doesn't like that. Owe anyone a book, but also I don't have to support him in not writing.
That's the truth.
I feel the same. I think about, Patrick Rothfuss with Doors of Stone and many other lapsed authors.
I think the most thing that like some of those people owe is just like some communication, just to be clear about what's going on.
It's my favorite thing about Brandon Sanderson is that as much as some of it is just it's pulp fiction, a lot of the degree, but it tells me what's going to happen, and I can just read the book and forget about it until I know the next one's coming in a year. And I like that. I like consistency. It's it's definitely not an autism diagnosis, but
there's lots of things to quibble about with Brandon Sanderson.
There are many things to quibble about with Brandon Sanderson, but his production schedule is not one of them.
Yeah, that's not one. Man will jump on TikTok and be like, "I have a whole new series written," and you'll be like, "But when did you?"
I'm 10% of the way through the script for Mistborn. All the usual stuff.
Yeah,
so
that kind of stuff. But that's what it is.
Winds of Truth was really good. I did really enjoy Winds of Truth. Wind and Truth. Yeah, I'm probably open to more recommendations. I read through the Warden series on the recommendation of a viewer, which was good fun. It's a bit romantic-y, but it was kind of fun. And I'm reading Strength of the Few on Nathan's recommendation, and then I'm probably looking for some more things to dive into. I think I have the Black Company on my list, but that seemed like a lot of books. I'm not sure I want to commit to a series of.
It is a lot of books. It's good.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking for I'm looking for like 1 to 3 book short series that are like fantasy, ideally with magic, because I like magic fantasy series settings.
I was about to recommend Abercrombie's First Law trilogy if you haven't.
I've read First Law. It's on my shelf back there. It was fine. I read The Devils recently as well. I think I spoke about that one on the show.
Did you ever read The Lies of Loch Lamora by random?
Yeah, I have one of those. I have like a special anniversary edition on my shelf somewhere back there. I've read all three of the ones that are out, and I continue to wait for Thorn of Emberlin.
It's never coming out.
I know, but at least I know Scott Lynch has a reason, right? Like Scott Lynch is very open with his mental health issues. I've read Robin Hobb. I've read spoilers for Robin Hobb's Realms of the Elderling. I read the first 3, then I read Live Ship Traders up until the point where the bit with Kenneth and Althea happens, and I gave up on the book because it made me annoyed enough in book 3 that I just like I'm not enjoying that bit, and I put it down and I never picked it back up. It weirded me out, and I decided I didn't like it, so I gave up on that one. What else is back there? I've read in the last like 6 years. I read the R.F. Kuang stuff. I have Babel on my shelf somewhere, so I read like the Poppy War and stuff like that. I read Project Hail Mary. That's coming out. That's a movie coming out next week in like 2 weeks. Actually.
I can't stand that author.
I like Andy Weir quite a lot. I even read Artemis. It wasn't that good. I read Christopher Paolini's new book recently. That was pretty solid. I enjoyed that one.
You read whose book?
I read his sci-fi stuff as well. There's a new Dresden Files book out, apparently. I should actually check that out.
I think those books are fine. I have problems.
Totally fine. Yep, but I read the first one when I was like 12, so at this point it's sunk cost, right?
I know it's science fiction. I do like the Dungeon Crawler Carl books. You should just read Dungeon Crawler Carl. You'll enjoy it.
I'm not going to.
They're funny.
I'm just not going to do that.
You should though.
I don't want to. I don't want
try
to
the
just
first
out of,
one.
like the fact that you've recommended it so many times now. I'm now not doing it out of principle.
My favorite review of that book is from Francois, who read all 7 of the books, and then was like, he's like, I didn't think they were good, but they kept me entertained. I'm like, bro, you read 7 books in 2 months. Don't start with me about how you didn't.
What do I have on my
them.
shelf that I've not read yet? I have Glorious Exploits, which I bought for my sister, but she already had, which I haven't read. I have Malice to read. I read the first book from 5th season and didn't enjoy it. I have Consider Flevis on my shelf that I've not read yet, but again, it's sci-fi. I struggle to get into that. I have Lessons in Bird Watching, which was an interesting recommendation that someone gave me that seemed like a thing I should try, but have not gotten into yet.
I'm opening up my library to see what I've got. Actually,
yeah, I don't really like Kindle books or anything like that. I kind of like being physical.
I was getting back into the Malazan trilogy, the Malazan series. I need to go back and read Gardens of the Moon again to get back into it.
Yeah, I don't know about a bunch of stuff to read, but I really enjoyed the Drop of Corruption and Tainted Cup. Those were fantastic. I'm very much looking forward to the next one of those when that comes out.
I do like the Empire of Silence book, which is a science fiction though, so I don't think you'll read it. And Red Rising is good. I'm just gonna keep.
You've been listening through Discworld, which is a lot of fun. I've read my dad has all of Discworld on a shelf and he's been reading my dad's got Discworld tattoos and stuff. We have one of my uncles used to live 2 doors down from me. We have signed copies and everything. I've intermittently read across Discworld, but never read the whole thing. It's one of those things that I should probably at some point sit down and read the whole thing because it's wonderful. Because everything I've read of it was wonderful. I loved Small Gods. I've read Fantastic and Color of Magic. But I'm I've spread across a little bit too much. I've not really zoned in on anything specific. So it's another blind spot in my fantasy history.
I don't think we can ever convince Innes to read 40k books, unfortunately, Kara Quinn. The Warhammer Crime series though is
I think I've said this on the show before. The best 40k book ever written is a 7 out of 10 at best. I've read the Night Lord trilogy. I've read, but I like all of these. I read pre-COVID. I've read the Night Lord trilogy. I've read Horus Heresy up to the one that's an Ultramarines diary. I gave up because I got bored because it was shit. I read Dawn. Actually, no, I read Dawn of Fire because I won it in a tournament. It was the prize I got. So I read Dawn of Fire because someone told me that the bureaucracy part was kind of interesting, and it was kind of interesting. I did enjoy that part of the book, but everything else sucked because I hate reading. And then the Primaris Hellblaster did the thing. Blah 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 blah.
There's a lot in that book that is about model advertisement, which is a little.
There's a lot in every single 40k book I've ever read that's about model advertisement.
I think
a company writing books about its games.
Right. There's the Warhammer Crime series, which Kara Quinn recommends, are actually pretty good. Noctis and Lux is really good. It's just about some people and the everyday lives of 40k civilians, which is interesting.
I don't know. I just kind of don't care.
I know. You just don't like science fiction, so it's kind of.
I just don't really like science fiction. It's true. I enjoy science fiction TV shows, but I find reading them. I hate technobabble. Is really what I hate. Technobabble. I don't mind magic babble. Magic babble I like. It's a very different. But technobabble, the second that someone's trying to explain it in a way that's very clearly actually trying to be an explanation of how they think this will work in the future, instead of just a thing. I can get away with it. I know, which is weird because I like Andy Weir stuff. I didn't hate that, but that's Martian and Project Hail Mary are a little different. They're not quite as. I don't know. I don't mind all. I don't hate all sci-fi. I just struggle for recommendations for it because I'm very fair weather when it comes to sci-fi.
You just have to read fantasy style science fiction, epic science fiction. That's more fantasy and less.
I mean, I do love Star Wars, right? You can't complain at all.
You'd like the Sun Eater series because it does not take its science even slightly seriously and is just fantasy in space.
Perfect.
You would like it.
It's basically what we do as well, right?
Murderbot is good sci-fi. Murderbot's very fun.
Speaking of Babel, have you read Babel by R.F. Kuang? Yushi, I just said this one. Yeah, I've read Poppy War and I have Babel on myself, and I think I have Catabasis sitting my Amazon's bookstore or something like that. But yeah, I have Babel to read. It's on my short list.
Yep. I think that we're out of
some of the old fantasy novels were quite good. I actually have the Malice Darkblade proper omnibus one. I really enjoyed that back when I was 10.
I started rereading those books and I was like, "Fuck, this is good, crazy. They're not good." I was reading the Drizzt Do'Urden books, and some of them were okay, but they're mostly also not good anymore. But they've aged a lot, is really part of it. The Ari Salvatore books. We do have one super chat to talk about, which is Letters from Links. Thank you for 20 SEK. Tamsin Weir Nona, 40k adjacent, but good. Winky face.
Is that a person? It's a person.
I think so.
I shall take a look.
All right. And
I
on
should
that
take a
note,
look only because Letters from does good GSC content, so I will take their word.
there you go.
All right, I think that's probably enough tangentially, not even slightly 40k related garbage.
We
chat, right?
started to turn into Medicaid's orders here at the end with our book club.
That's good. That's, to be fair, what did we devolve into last time? It was just the two of us. We just chatted for like 30 minutes about nonsense, right? So,
talked bullshit for 30 minutes. Yeah, we
it's the end of the show. People, if anyone stopped listening, well, it doesn't for it content, they checked out 10 minutes ago. It's okay.
You can
anyone who's still here is clearly here because they just enjoy hearing us chat.
Also, envious, right? You can come at me saying it's not Drizzt, but I don't care because it's a Drizzt.
Yeah.
Oh, the Clerics Quintet is good. From
the what?
It's an old R.A. Salvatore Forgotten Realms kind of book series, like the Clerical
D&D.
Quintet.
I don't want to get into D&D. D&D scares me.
Why?
I follow exactly one piece of D&D related content, which is Order of the Stick, and I refuse to engage with anything more.
Look, I play D&D a lot, and it's mostly not like D&D.
Speaking of things that whatsoever. Will never finish, Jesus Christ.
What? Well, never finish.
Order of the Stick's a webcomic that I've been reading since, again, I was like 12.
Oh, is that still going?
Yes, it is.
I read that when I was a kid.
Yeah, I read Order of the Stick. I check it like once a quarter to see if there's like five new ones. And then I still read Gunner Craig Court. That's the only two webcomics that I maintain because Gunner Craig is still quite fun.
I read very few webcomics at this point. Most of the ones that I used to read are kind of gone or have changed dramatically in the way that they were about, or like my life has changed too much. If you really like webcomics, though, go read Kill 6 Billion Demons. It's fucking amazing. The art for it is great.
Yeah, I think I gave up on Tower of God sometime around the animals bit. In like book 3. That was the only other one I was really keeping up with at any reasonable clip. Also, that anime was super disappointing.
It was a little disappointing. I don't know. I watch a fair amount of anime right now just for funsies because I get bored and occasionally need something.
I watch almost none
in my space.
But when I do, like, I watch Frieren because Sako
it's very good. It's very good.
I watch Delicious in Dungeon.
Also very good. I like that one a lot.
Have I watched anything
Jujutsu Kaisen is good.
I have heard too many bad things to be willing to even remotely put that one on.
I like Chainsaw Man a lot, but mostly because it's like just
I got like 6 episodes in and got a little bored. I just couldn't really.
Really? You got bored with Chainsaw Man?
Yeah.
I don't understand how that's possible.
I just didn't really care about it. I tried watching Attack on Titan again recently, and I got to like the end, the start of book 4, and was like, I'm just not feeling this vibe anymore.
I have something I want to tell everybody in chat. Attack on Titan is extremely overrated, and I'm sorry, folks. Much like Aaron Dembski Bowden, both very overrated things in their respective areas.
Yeah, I just didn't. I don't know.
I do agree with Cocoa Butts that reading Chainsaw Man is better. Mostly because
I just don't care. Like, I don't know, man. I am very comfortable. Like, did not finishing TV series and animes and stuff like that. I got like 4 episodes into the new Scott Pilgrim show, and I was just like, nah, not feeling it.
I can't stand it.
I can't not finish a book except Wizard's First Rule, which I 100% did not finish. I bought that book out of sheer like curiosity of how bad it could possibly be. Holy shit, it's so much worse than everyone says it is.
I will be honest that I've also been watching a lot of WWE recently and have been enjoying it just because it's so freaking funny. It's really funny and weird in ways that are unexplainable to other people.
I like 90% of what I watch on YouTube is like Magic the Gathering content. So like absolutely
that's gotta change. That's gotta change. Watch something else.
But I like watching people play like Legacy and Vintage. It's fun or CEDH. So
I don't know.
Like I like the thing that I have for like Magic is that I like watching people play it competitively. Like you know, in the same way that I approach 40k, I like watching Magic on it because it's really good for like mindset stuff and you know how people approach these things. Watch people like do like review content and stuff like that. Like it gives me a lot of information on how we can do stuff like this better, right? Whereas there's not a ton of we spoke about this last time. There's not a ton of comparable content in 40k to what we do. So I like having the other game that I know reasonably well, given and then kind of approaching it from that perspective of using it to like one be entertaining, but I don't have like I can switch my brain off and not like when I watch 40k content, if someone says something I don't agree with, it like triggers in my brain of like argue. Whereas when I watch Magic content, I'm like it just like slides over my brain like a chicken cutlet.
I think the biggest problem I have is that I can't do gaming content where I'm like not actively participating in it a lot of the time.
That's
So
fair.
like I have a hard time watching Magic the Gathering games because like a large part of what I enjoy about Magic is the
Is the
aspect of it
puzzle.
where I'm sitting around with my friends and like
Yeah, that's
I
totally fair,
used to
right?
I did used to love the puzzles in Magic's old magazine where it was like, here's a visual puzzle, solve this in one turn, here are your next two draws and stuff like that. I loved that shit.
You'd love
I love
chess.
puzzles. I fucking am not good at chess. It's very funny is that I
Me
don't
neither.
like it even.
Oh, we should stream
I've
it. We
been
should stream us doing a chess game sometime. I think
Oh
that'd
my
be really
fuck no.
cool.
I
Go give a chess
this
right
is
now.
it'd be just as good a content as what we're producing. I
Was My Hero
do
Academia actually finally over? Jesus, I can't
It
believe that's
is
finished.
done and it's not good, guys. Please stop. My Hero
I gave
Academia
up
was
on
never
like
good.
I gave up on like season 2 of that back when I was again like 15 when it came out.
Part of the problem that I
When's the
have
new
with
One
my
Piece season out? The TV show.
soon. I enjoy that a lot.
Yeah,
The
that was
One Piece
great.
live action show. When is the new One Piece season coming out?
March 10th. Oh, it's like 2 weeks. Sick.
Ooh, soon. That's in 2
This
weeks.
is not a One Piece
And
ad,
it's-
but fantastic.
Next time Anthony's not here and we vamp like this, we can just watch a show together. We'll just watch freaking One Piece, just the two of us on here.
Oh, this has been great because like we've got like new Invincible this year as well, which I'm looking forward to.
Oh, that's true. Invincible's good. Invincible, the TV show, is a funny enough part where I actually think it's better than the comic material.
Oh, Invincible
I like the show
also
better.
comes out on the 18th of March. It's in like 3 weeks.
There we go. There you go.
March
I
is
think
gonna
we'll
be great.
We're gonna have a hard time restreaming that one if we decide to because of the amount of violence in
That's
it.
fine. But I have Project Hail Mary, Invincible, and One Piece to look forward to next month. Sick. This is great. Plenty of content to watch.
There's a bunch of other stuff coming out as well.
Oh, Ahsoka comes out this year too. That'll be fun. I actually enjoyed that show.
Oh man,
I'm kind of just like anything Star Wars shaped. I kind of enjoy, with like the possible exception of Book of Boba Fett.
Oh, there's it's funny. Battle Sector is a Warhammer 40k game that came out that's turn-based, and they released their Black Legion DLC today, which is quite good. I enjoyed playing that for like 30 minutes today.
I've been playing Risk of Rain recently. Like I played the original one like a long time ago. Jesus.
Yeah.
But I bought Risk of Rain Returns. And I've been playing it. I've been really enjoying that. It's like I enjoy roguelikes a lot.
I've been trying to play like some other stuff outside of what I normally play. I downloaded some games to play. I have some like very weird idiosyncrasies about video games where I play like the Madden games when they come out, play the career through one season and then stop playing Madden. Like I don't play it like against other people. I just play the one career mode and then I'm done. So it's very good that I have like the subscription service through Xbox where I can play games like that basically for free.
I saw they were reporting Fire Red Leaf Green to the Switch, and I was like, oh, I should buy a Switch.
I did see that. I want to do that. I want to play that just to relieve my childhood.
I don't think I have the attention span to play Pokemon at that speed anymore.
I've played every single Pokemon game except Black and White 2. That's the only one that I have not played.
I think I played everything from Ruby Sapphire, which were my first, through to Sun and Moon, and I stopped.
To be fair, my first game was Red and Blue, which I played on the Black and White. Or
Red and Blue came out when I was 3. I wasn't massively.
Yeah, true. I understand. I played it in the cars when I played Red and Blue.
Playing Pokemon by the streetlights, hearing the cries of the Zigzagoons as you drive past, your parents get increasingly more frustrated. You tell you to turn the volume off. Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't have hear the trumpets my like, from Owen. Like it's my internal monologue is entirely trumpets from Owen at this point.
Just trumpets from Owen. I honestly, my parents hated the volume so much that I play all my Pokemon games basically muted because I have that childhood growing up thing.
God, I love Pokemon. It's one of those ones like if I'm going to continue the trend of like getting something from everything I love on my arm for a tattoo, at some point there's got to be a Pokemon on there. But I don't know if I'm willing to commit to getting a Pokemon tattoo because it feels a little too cliche.
You can get some really cool artistic ones done if you look on Instagram. Some people
but I'm
do some really nice ones.
Is it just going to look really garish or really out of place? Because like the thing I like about my Gene Cycle tattoo is it does not look like a 4K tattoo if you don't know that it's 4K tattoo. Same thing with the Blood Moon one, right? So who knows?
I mean, what is your favorite Pokemon in this? Is really the question that comes here now. What? Fanfi?
Yeah.
You could probably get away with that. People probably wouldn't know unless they were a Pokemon. For me, it's Garchomp. Garchomp is my favorite Pokemon.
I don't keep a lot of things on my backdrop, but
Fanfi. There you go. You could get away with that one. I like Garchomp. Garchomp's my favorite. And I could probably get away with that
Blood
one.
Moon tattoo? I would have to take my jumper off. Give me 1 second.
I would play Black and White too, because I saw that Sean is in our Patreon Discord. There you go. Nice. That is a good tattoo. That looks really nice. Makes me jealous that I haven't gotten one. I need to get one once I maybe. I don't know. I still see mine coming in, but
Nathan, have I lost your audio or have you lost mine?
I hear you. Can you hear me at all?
I'm guessing.
I can hear you. I got you in my headset. You might have just unplugged something, bud. This is the sign that we need to stop, is what I think it is.
Let's do that again.
Can you hear me now? No?
I can't hear anything at all. This is fantastic.
That's weird. I don't know, bud. I hear you just fine.
I can't hear Nathan at all. Nathan, do the plugs. Run the show out. I'm just going to sit here now.
Cool. Okay. Thank you, everybody who decided to stay for our extra bit of weird, funny time where me and Innes just spent 30 minutes talking nonsense and bullshit. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope you all learned a little bit about how me and Innes are people outside of Warhammer 40K, which is always kind of fun. And then, yeah, I hope you all have a lovely weekend. If you're playing Warhammer 40K, good luck at your event. Join our Patreon so you can interact with us more, because we're just people, I promise. And bye-bye. Have a lovely weekend.